Good evening. Welcome to Monday's evening guided meditation session at Vajrayana Institute. And I'm Wai Cheong, and we'll be doing our usual two meditation sessions. The first one will be focusing on helping us to settle into meditation, helping the body to become more at ease in meditation, and also to help the mind to settle down. So I thought maybe in this first meditation, maybe it's good to draw your attention to thinking, because I think that is also one of the main elements we encounter in our meditation, which a lot of us find disturbing. Maybe precisely because we associate meditation with no thinking or stop thinking. And so quite often, either consciously or subconsciously, we find ourselves entering into this kind of struggle with our thinking habit. All wrapped up, stay well and warm. Yes. Hello, Sue. Yeah. Pretty cold weather, so it's good to be indoor, wrap up, maybe having a nice meditation session together. Yeah. So back to thinking. So I think first and foremost, it's important not to make our thinking habits, or thinking ability, an enemy of ourselves. It's not really. Thinking is a very useful and very powerful ability of our mind. And of course, when needed, it's wonderful that we are able to think, reflect, imagine, remember. These are all, you can consider all these different aspects of our thinking abilities, planning, such as. But then on other occasions, when there is no need for us to think about anything, it's also wonderful if the thinking subsides. So just leave us alone, just disappear. So this is a very kind of natural, harmonious way in which this aspect of our mind, our thinking ability, either come on or go off, can happen naturally. So we try to facilitate that process. And what is most unhelpful is to make thinking our enemy. Then it really triggers a lot of unnecessary tension and reactions, and we get very frustrated and upset with ourselves, with our own mind, and we might actually become very harsh with ourselves, towards our mind. Why is it I cannot stop thinking? Which is, most people cannot stop thinking, because it will stop by itself, but you can't kind of deliberately choose to stop it. Yeah. Which is actually a good thing, because we will do terrible damage to ourselves if we have that much of a control over our thoughts. Yeah. So in this first meditation, I invite you to explore, maybe try to have a different relationship with the different thinking activities that we notice in our meditation. See them not as enemies, see them not as a disturbances. Instead, see them as a natural part of our mind. It's just one more thing that we can learn to be aware of, learn to work with, and relate to differently. So we can actually harness the ability of thinking to help our meditation. For example, I quite often suggest people, especially in the first part of the meditation, to make use of a simple thought or label, such as the word release. Synchronize with the out breath. When we feel ourselves breathing out, naturally releasing the air in the lungs, say the word thinking in our own mind, as a reminder. Say the word release in our own mind as a reminder, to remind our body that it can release more and more of those unnecessary tension and tightness. You can let that go, in its own time. And we can also remind ourselves that we don't have to follow those thoughts. Of course, different thoughts pop up in our mind. we don't necessarily have to follow those trains of thoughts. We don't have to complete them. We can notice them and say, well, no, I don't really want to think about it. I can drop it. So using this word release, synchronize it with our out breath, and in itself is a kind of thought. This word release, a simple thought, can facilitate our meditation. And so I might find myself in my meditation, all I say is breathe out, release, breathe out, release. And some days, especially when we are very agitated, when today something is bothering my mind, I'm just keep going back to it over and over again. I find myself repeating the same old stories over and over again. And if that occurred in my meditation, I can, when I become aware of it, I can just remind myself, release. Instead of fighting against it, instead of struggling against it, instead of feeling upset and become more tight and tense and agitated, when I hear myself say the word in my mind, of course, release, I say, that's right. I can drop it. I can just imagine the words, the images, and whatever it is that's entangled with it. I just imagine that it's almost like they will leave along with my out breath. That's it. I don't care. It's released. And you may have to do it over and over again, patiently, no effort, no pushing, no struggling, no trying to get rid of it. It's just this act of just reminding ourselves, I can drop it. Drop it is not like pushing away. I just sort of open my hand and just let it fall by itself. I don't care what happened to it. I'm just going to drop it from my attention, drop it from my awareness, and leave it behind. Yeah. So that's the idea. So let's explore this simple way of utilizing a labor, which is really a thought, and how that might help us to relate differently with the other kind of thinking activities that come up in our meditation. Okay, so let's start the first meditation. So take a few moments, adjust your body. I'm trying to sit cross-legged on a chair. Not sure whether that is such a good idea, but in the privacy of wherever you are, you can sit on a chair. You can sit on the floor on a cushion. You can lie down on your back. You can lie on the floor on a rug or a yoga mat, to provide some padding. You can lie on a firm bed or your couch or wherever. Most important is to make sure that the back, the spine is comfortable in whichever posture you have adopted. Upright if you are sitting, upright in a natural way, following its natural curvatures of the spine. If you are lying down, take special care that the neck and your lower back are comfortable, that the lying down position does not introduce additional tension and discomfort, especially into these two parts of the body. So try to be aware of, maybe you can put a folded towel or pillow under your head, just to provide enough support, not too much, not too little. And likewise, you might want to elevate your knees when lying down, put a cushion under your knees or pillow, elevate them. That might help to relieve any kind of pulling or tension in your lower back. So settle yourself into your meditation posture. I just ring this bell to signal the start of this first meditation. Rest your arms in whichever way that allow them to be supported, and enable your shoulders to be as relaxed as possible. Feel free to close your eyes completely, or you can leave them open or half open, whichever works for you. So give your body some time to find its way into this posture, to get used to it, to adjust. We can really help the body to begin to settle down into the posture by giving attention to sensations coming through at the points of contact between the body and the seat, the body and the ground. See if we can allow the body to feel that it is resting on a solid, firm, and stable support while in this posture. So much so that the whole body feels well supported, well balanced, and safe. And we do so in order to trigger the natural process whereby the body can start to loosen up, it can start to unwind some of the tensions and tightenings in the different parts of the body. Given time, the body may adjust, may release some of those unnecessary contractions and tightenings, and find itself settling down more and more comfortably into the posture. And there's the first step, acquiring a seat for our body. And in the second step, we're going to take a few minutes at the beginning of the meditation in order to facilitate our body and mind to really settle down into meditation, to make a transition, to shift gears, putting aside some more of those tensions and agitations so that they can come back, come here and now, and really rest in meditation. And we can do that with the help of our natural breath, synchronized with the breath. So first, see if you can contact the breath sensations in your own body so that you become aware, so that you can fully experience the in-breath and the out-breath. As you become aware of the breath sensations, as you tune into the rhythm of your own breathing, see if you can give special attention to your out-breath, your natural out-breath. Don't feel that you need to breathe deeper or stronger. Just allow the body to breathe itself. And see if you can notice each time when you breathe out naturally, there is quite often a subtle sense of release that comes along with it, a subtle sense of relaxation. We can feel the muscles of our chest, the muscles of our diaphragm relax in order for the air to flow out. And each time when you feel an out breath, you can make use of the simple label, the word release. In your mind, quietly, gently say the word release, synchronize with the out breath. Breathing out, release. As a reminder to yourself, to your own system, to your own body and mind that they can release. They can allow some of those unhelpful things, unnecessary things tension, tightness, contractions, or maybe the different kind of thoughts and agitation of the mind, the words, the images, the stories. Maybe some of them can just flow away with the out breath. They can be released and you can let them go. So coming back to the breath sensations in the body, attending to the breath, and with each out breath, as you breathe out, if you like, gently say the word release, reminding your body that it can release, reminding your mind that it can set aside the different thoughts, memories, inner commentaries that pop into the mind. All of them may flow away with the out breath. And so invite your attention again and again gently to come back and reconnect with the breath sensations so that you allow yourself to experience the in-breath and the out-breath. And with each out-breath, you be like, we can always label it, we can always remind ourselves with the word release. So coming back to the breath, reconnecting with breath sensations. Alongside with the breath, see if you can also notice sensations in your own face. Tune in and notice whether are you tensing up any of the muscles within the face. Are you tightening the muscles of your forehead or the muscles around your eyes? How about muscles in your jaw? If you do notice tension here at the face, maybe as you breathe out, as you say the word release, maybe some of those tension may also flow away with the out breath. Maybe it's possible, breathing out, for you to gently and consciously relax the muscles of your own face. Coming back to the breath sensations, attending to the breath. If you notice any other parts of your body that might feel tight or tense, feel free to repeat the same process, breathing out, and say the word release in your own mind, reminding your body that it can release. It doesn't have to hold on to those tightness, to those tension, to those contractions. Maybe given time, and space might not be immediately, but somewhere down the road, the body may respond by relaxing, by releasing, unwinding some more of those tensions and contractions, and let into your experience a sense of greater ease, comfort, and relaxation. So coming back, reconnecting with the breath sensations in the body, breathe out, releasing some of the physical tension or tightness. Maybe by now you notice the different activities of the mind. Activities of the mind in the form of thinking about the past, about the future, maintaining an ongoing inner commentary, and so on and so forth. When you notice your mind is thinking, your attention is caught in thinking, see if you can simply acknowledge that. Acknowledge that you have been thinking. And then you can, if you so choose, invite your attention to come back once again to the breath, to your support. And with an out breath, say the word release. You can release all those thoughts, all those images, all those commentaries and stories, and just allow them to flow away with the breath. Coming back to the breath, coming back to here and now. Each time you notice thoughts arise, each time you notice your attention is drawn into thinking, see if you can relate to it without feeling upset, frustrated. Simply recognize what is happening in your own mind. And then upon an out breath, remind yourself, remind your own mind that it can release. Breathing out, releasing. Each time you reconnect with the out breath, you are allowing your body and mind to deepen the sense of release. Slowly, gradually, you will settle ever more deeply into meditation. So coming back to the breath again and again. Each time you notice your attention is drawn into thoughts, into fantasies, into words and images, and you are no longer in touch with the breath sensations, with the bodily sensations, with here and now. See if you can regard it as a totally normal thing. It's normal for the mind to be active, for the mind, for attention to be drawn away. Simply when you recognize it, invite your attention to come back here and now, resting on the breath. And as you breathe out, deepen the release. And then finally, I invite you to expand the scope of your awareness so that you can check in and notice how your body and mind are doing, are feeling at the end of meditation. See if you can highlight anything positive, helpful, or beneficial to come out of this meditation. Highlight any feeling of ease or comfort or relaxation in the body. Highlight any other positive qualities or auspicious features of your attention, of your mind. You're most welcome to post your comments or questions in the live chat if you have any. In meditation is a little bit like a microcosm of our life in general. You'll find that the way we react to things in our daily life, we also carry that into our meditation, especially when meditative experiences are not flowing in the way that you expect. You're not feeling calmer, more peaceful. Instead, you encounter similar experiences as in outside of meditation. Also in your meditation, you'll find yourself, the mind still preoccupied with thinking. You're still feeling very stressed. And also the thoughts are not helping, because there seems to be going over and over things that you would much rather put aside or not think about. And so there is a tendency to be quite harsh towards those thoughts or towards our own mind or even towards ourselves during the meditation. We might feel that we are such a failure, we feel increasingly frustrated by what's going on. We are not able to stop thinking, even though that's what we want. Or the opposite is also true. We find ourselves falling asleep in our meditation when we feel that we shouldn't be falling asleep. And so we get very tight as a reaction to what is arising within our meditation, be it sleepiness or agitation, rumination, thinking, planning, the usual stuff. So as we get tighter and tighter in our meditation, we can manifest an attitude that is very harsh towards ourselves. We judge ourselves even more. Even more critical of ourselves. Anyway, the whole meditative experience becomes quite a negative one. Yeah. And also that harshness that is related corresponds to increasing tension, tightness in our own body, even in our face, and so on and so forth. So, and that instead of calming the system down, really escalate the whole system. So I find it quite helpful to change our attitude in meditation. Try to relate to all these different experiences a bit differently, in meditation. And today I want to introduce a different attitude, one of being more compassionate towards ourselves, being more compassionate towards our own struggles, and compassionate towards the difficult experiences that might be happening in our meditation, instead of having more pleasant, more comfortable feelings. You find yourself experiencing or be more aware of aches and pain, or more aware of distressing thoughts. When things didn't go well in our meditation, didn't go as expected, instead of tightening up, instead of being more judgmental, more critical, maybe we can be more compassionate towards ourselves. Take this as an opportunity to try out or be more caring towards ourselves, be a bit kinder to ourselves. So we can try to use this opportunity to practice compassion, self-compassion these days. We talk about, compassion is a very interesting, not the easiest attitude or quality of the heart to foster, because it does sort of make us encounter unpleasant things. But it's precisely when we encounter something unpleasant that all the more it will be helpful to be able to bring forth compassion. So in this next meditation, we can just try out, to nurture a compassionate attitude towards ourselves. And we may be able to bring that attitude to relate to the difficult experiences in our meditation, so that we won't get too upset with ourselves, so to speak. I practice compassion with the use of a few simple phrases, because quite often it's not necessarily easy for me to find the right feeling of compassion, or even to invoke it from my heart. So I make use of the support of a few simple phrases, just to stand in. when I'm not quite ready to be compassionate, or I can't quite know how to bring forth compassion, I use words to guide me. So this is yet another form of thinking, compassionate thinking, expressing compassion first in words, and then hopefully later in a more heartfelt way. Okay, so I use a few simple stock phrases. You feel free to change them. And I find words quite easy. You just repeat them slowly, mindfully, sincerely, and already they become there is a support there to help me. So I use 3 different phrases, sentences. May I be free from pain and sorrow. As I said, you can change the wording. Don't feel that you need to stick to what I'm using. Pain is any kind of physical discomfort. That's how I understand the words. And sorrow refers to any kind of mental disturbance, mental unhappiness. Yeah. May I be free from both physical pain and mental sorrow or unhappiness. That's the first one. May I be free from pain and sorrow. May I find healing. Usually, in relation to compassion, compassion arises towards suffering, towards pain, towards disturbance and discomfort. And so, may I find healing. May they heal in whichever way, physically, emotionally, mentally. May I be able to, step out of it into a more healthy state. May I find healing is the second. And the last one is, may I find peace. Especially in certain situations where positive change cannot arise immediately, or maybe I'm not even sure, what is possible. But nonetheless, I hope that I will be able to find my way to have a kind of more peaceful relationship with whatever it is that is happening in my life or within myself, be it pain, be it sorrow, be it unhappiness or disappointment or grief or losses and so on. So may I at least be at peace with it. Yeah. May I be free from pain and sorrow. May I find healing. May I find peace. It's what I wish for myself, sincerely, even I might not feel it at this moment. And as I say those words, I try to let the words serve as a support to guide my attention, to guide my attitude, so that given time, maybe I might actually be able to invoke a more compassionate attitude towards myself, towards my own experiences, which could be in life in general or within meditation. So that even when my meditation is sort of what I say all over the place, falling asleep, daydreaming, ruminating, complaining, getting angry, getting upset, getting anxious, regardless of whatever I find within arising with my meditation, I can use them in relation to them. I can use them to cultivate compassion, a more compassionate attitude towards myself, towards my own experiences, and then maybe even extend it to others. And also by directing them to others, wishing that may they too be free from their pain and sorrow, and may they find healing, and may they find peace. Okay, so let's do a short meditation on compassion. So settle yourself back into a meditation posture, and I just ring this bell to signal the start of our second meditation. So just as before, take a few moments, allow the body to adjust and find its way into the meditation posture, taking care that the entire length of our spine is as comfortable as it can be in our adopted posture, resting our hands and arms in such a way that they are supported and that we can allow the shoulders to be relaxed. Feel free to close your eyes completely, or leave them open or half open. And by becoming aware of how the body in the posture is resting on a solid, firm, and stable surface, be it the seat, the floor, or any other kind of support, we allow our body to feel well supported and well balanced in the posture. We hope that this will trigger a natural reaction from the body, a natural response, one that enables the body to loosen up, to unwind, to let go and put aside some of those unnecessary contractions and tightenings. And this will help the body to really settle down comfortably into the meditation posture. And to help body and mind once again shift gears into meditation, let's rely on the breath. Let's attend to the breath sensations in the body, allowing ourselves to feel the in-breath and the out-breath. And each time we breathe out, we remind ourselves with the magic word, release. And see if we can facilitate the gradual release of more tension and tightness in the body, the release of any agitation, disturbance, words and images unrelated to the meditation. Maybe we can let them go with the out breath. Breathing out, releasing. Maybe we can also release any residue of tension and tightening in the face. So easy for us to habitually tense up the facial muscles. And also just as easily with awareness, we can release those tensions. We can gently relax the muscles of the forehead, unclench the muscles of the jaw, release any tension in the muscles around the eyes. And almost immediately, we can welcome in a feeling of softness into our own face, a feeling of ease and comfort in our own face. At least for the next few minutes, by coming back to the breath, reconnecting our attention to the breath, see if we can facilitate a deepening sense of release each time we breathe out. And now to begin the practice of compassion. So pick a few simple phrases that best convey our understanding of compassion. And then slowly, mindfully, at our own pace, just repeat the words and direct them towards ourselves, wishing, may I be free from pain and sorrow. May I find healing. May I find peace. So feel free to change the wordings to something more suitable for yourself. But see if you can, with the support of the words, simply come back again and again to the phrases of compassion and try on an attitude of compassion towards ourselves, towards our own experiences. May I be free from pain and sorrow. May I find healing. May I find peace. So coming back to the words, and see if you can mindfully say them with as much sincerity you can find within yourself. Sincerely wishing ourselves to be free from suffering and problems and their causes. As we say the words mindfully, images, memories, thoughts may be triggered. If they are relevant, bring them to mind. They may remind you of your own struggle, your own unhappiness, your own share of difficulties, be it within meditation or outside of meditation. And then in response to these memories, see if we can, once again, relate to them with compassion, with the same words, with the same phrases. May I be free from pain and sorrow. May I find healing. May I find peace. So coming back to the phrases of compassion towards oneself, see if we can be patient and compassionate towards ourselves, not to feel or not to give in to feeling of boredom, upset. Simply reconnect our attention with the words of compassion again and again, and offer compassion towards ourselves, towards our own unpleasant experiences, towards our own difficulties, wishing, may I be free from pain and sorrow. May I find healing. May I find peace. So coming back to the words, the phrases, see if you can be mindful of how we say those words, how we express those phrases of compassion towards ourselves. See if it's possible to imbue them with a sense of warmth, a sense of care and understanding, patience, and see if we can direct those attitudes along with the words towards ourselves as a way to respond to our own struggle, our own difficulties, our own frustrations. May I be free from pain and sorrow. May I find healing. May I find peace. And then finally, expand the scope of our awareness and just check in. See if we can highlight anything positive, any auspicious features coming out of our meditation practice. And then mentally, we gather up all these positive experiences, energy, this positive momentum, and we're going to dedicate it, give it a direction, dedicate it towards the ripening and fulfillment of our aspirations. And we can wish that may anything positive and good that come out of our meditation, may they somehow stay with us, may they linger in our body and mind, so that they can continue to benefit us long after the meditation is over. So this evening we explore a bit on this compassionate attitude that hopefully we can bring into our own meditation practice and see if we can, instead of being a bit tight or upset or angry with our own meditation, or especially when things didn't go well, we can use it as an opportunity to cultivate compassion and to be able to respond from the heart with a more compassionate attitude. And so much so that even the difficulties, the frustration and the struggle becomes transformed into something really positive, become the condition for us to feel more compassion towards ourselves, to enhance this quality of compassion, which is really a wonderful, heartfelt quality. So with that, that's it for this evening guided meditation. Thank you very much for your attention. I wish you a good week ahead and hope to see you next week.